YouTube and Snapchat and rumbling fucks. Shake your tits and swing your dicks. It ain't Wednesday, it ain't Thursday. It's another fabulous Friday. And that means you made it to another sit-on-your-face fantastic episode of your favorite internet sensation with libation. That's right, the Friday wrap-up, and what a delightful week it's been. Before we get today's show kicked off, I want to tip my hat to today's libation. I thought I'd keep it simple today, okay? I'm going to go with an old classic Yellow Jacket, Coors Banquet beer, brewed in Golden, Colorado. It's my second favorite beer next to Yingling. And the reason I have it is I bought myself a little six-pack of this because I'm trying to get the bottle condom on. Because they had the season premiere of Yellowstone last Sunday, which if you haven't gotten into that show, I suggest you do. Okay, so, Azalu, to drink up and be somebody. Crisp and refreshing. Well, now that the winter is here, I guess you ascertained already, I broke out the official Friday wrap-up jacket. See? So you're going to see this patrolling around. So, let's dive into today's show, but before we do, I want to give a big birthday shout-out to the biggest fan of the Friday wrap-up, my main man, Gaby, who turns 21 today. I hope all these bars stock up, because he's finally legal, kids. Happy birthday, buddy. Now go have a fucking beer. All right, so, to kick today's show off, today, I got some sad news. Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman, he did the voiceovers for all the animated Batmans throughout the TV shows, the 90s, any Batman cartoon, basically was voiced by this guy. So he was the official voice of Batman. He died, unfortunately. So, as LRV. Well, what a show we got today for you kids. Trump, Jizz, and OnlyFans. I bet you never thought you'd hear all three of those words together. So let's talk about the midterm elections for 2022, because apparently they were still going on. You know, God forbid we just have an election day, you know. So the outcome is the Republicans take the House. So they fired Nancy Pelosi. So it looks like Kevin McCarthy was going to be the House Speaker now going forward. So that's good. That's a win. That's huge. And I'd like to point out, well, I'm going to point this out in a little bit. The Democrats kept the Senate. No big fucking surprise there. Now, I'd like to point out a couple of things. Everybody's blaming Donald Trump for not having a big red wave and for the Senate still being Democratic majority. It ain't Trump's fault. Matter of fact, I'm going to point something out. The reason that the Republicans retook the House is because of Donald Trump. Okay? Out of all of the Republican-backed candidates, okay, 200 of them, or maybe over 200 of them, won. Okay? Out of all the Trump-backed candidates, over 200 of them won. 36 of them lost. Most of them in the Senate. Okay? Those are real fucking numbers. So the fact that a red wave didn't materialize like we wanted it to, which is mind-boggling that it didn't. Well, there's a couple of factors at play here. Okay, like I told you, this fucking mail-in vote in advance kind of shit, count the fucking ballots up for the next 22 days, that plays a lot into this, okay? Because it's always the battleground states that, the last ones to come up with the vote tally, and it's always tight, it's always very close, and it always, swings in the Democrats' favor by a couple of points. I'm not saying anything other than that, okay? But the fact of the matter is, the Trump-backed candidates overtook the fucking House. The Senate was lost, not because of Donald Trump, because of fucking Mitch McConnell. Okay? McConnell is a very bitter, dour, spiteful man whose face looks like a rumpled old vagina. And he always sounds like he's got a cock stuck in the back of his throat, which makes sense, because he has a vagina face. So naturally, somebody's probably putting a cock in it. But the problem with McConnell is he only supports, backs, and finances candidates that he likes. In other words, that he has a personal relationship with. If there's something about that candidate he doesn't like personally, he doesn't back him. Like, for example, Oz. The reason Oz lost that fucking election in Pennsylvania is because McConnell didn't throw any support behind him until like the fucking very end. Okay? So, with people voting 50 days in advance, and the reason McConnell didn't put any fucking support behind Oz is because Oz is a Trump guy. And McConnell doesn't like Trump. So anybody that Trump backed, McConnell did not fucking help or cooperate with. Big fucking surprise, the Democrats keep the fucking Senate. Okay? At this point, it's petty fucking bullshit. So that's not Donald Trump's fault. Okay? I just want to point that out. The fact of the matter is, the guy's still a fucking kingmaker. He was able to retake the House because McCarthy is a Trump guy. So anybody that Trump backed, McCarthy threw support and money behind, and surprise, surprise, they fucking won. McConnell didn't capitulate like that. So naturally, the fucking Senate stayed Democratic. Okay? And those are fucking facts. So, let's talk about the fucking white elephant in the room. Donald Trump, my man, okay, announced his candidacy for the 2024 election last Tuesday, I believe. Okay? And I don't know why the fuck anybody was surprised. Okay? We said this was going to happen. He hinted to it so many fucking times that, I mean, I didn't even think he was really going to, I didn't think he had to do such a big fucking fanfare to announce it. Not that I'm poo-pooing on it, but it's been a lot of mixed thoughts on this. And I'm going to weigh in. I'm going to give you my fucking 2 cents. So first of all, everybody thinks he's crazy for announcing it so soon, right after the midterms. They said, well, it wasn't a red wave like we had anticipated and blah, blah, blah. And I told you why that fucking manifested the way that it did. Like I said, it's a little unprecedented that somebody would announce their candidacy for president this far ahead of the 2024 election. But follow me on this. I've told you this man he might come off a little nuts, but he's not stupid. There's a couple of reasons why I think he announced it so early. And even some of his advisors told him not to, and he just went ahead and did it anyway. There's been a lot of steam that they're throwing behind Ron DeSantis, okay, as the official GOP candidate for 2024. A lot of people like DeSantis, okay, and myself included. I like Ron DeSantis. So there's the school of thought that he's asserting dominance by throwing his hat in the ring first. Is that there's also a practical reason to doing this. I don't think he's as crazy as you think. With all this bullshit with the fucking Mar-a-Lago investigations and the January 6th investigations that they're trying to fucking hang a crime on this guy that he didn't commit. By announcing candidacy for president, it makes it very difficult to investigate or to go along, not so much investigate, but to go along with this. So the Justice Department at this point, now it looks political. So they had Merrick Garland today said, because he's a presidential candidate now, they don't want to get into that quagmire. Well, we're going after a presidential candidate. So they threw it off to independent counsel. So at least with an independent counsel, you have a better chance of an unbiased ruling. So basically what they're trying to do is look at the evidence, look at all this bullshit, and to see if there was actually a crime that was committed that they could indict him on. Okay? And the likelihood of that happening now is very slim. Here's why I say that. First of all, let's talk about the January 6th shit. They didn't commit a crime. Okay? People marched on the Capitol on their own volition. Trump did not spark an insurrection. Okay? He said what he said. He also said if you're going to go up there, go peacefully. Okay? But he didn't incite an insurrection. Now, granted, I said many shows ago that probably wasn't the best fucking idea for him to give a speech on the day they're supposed to, call the election or, certify whether Biden was the winner or not. The optics of it weren't good, but Trump being Trump did what he wanted anyway. Now, and I don't necessarily agree or disagree. Me personally, I wouldn't have done it. Okay, but whatever the case. Here's why this is a bullshit thing with the January 6th. He was impeached over it. When it comes to elected officials, government officials, rather than indict, they'll impeach. An impeachment's the same as an indictment. Okay? So they impeached him, and it was ruled that no crime was committed, and he was acquitted. So you can't turn around and reinvestigate and indict him for something on that because it's double jeopardy. If they did indict him, as his legal counsel, I would immediately move for dismissal based on the grounds of double jeopardy. We already went to this fucking rodeo. So that's a waste of time and taxpayer money. Now, the Mar-a-Lago shit. This was all overkill. There was no crime committed there. Okay? This could have been done with a court order and that's about it. And having a court intercede. It's common practice with presidents. This was oversight. I mean, again, they're really fucking, they're going to the teeth with this guy. Now, again, him rerunning for president, like I said, is a pretty ballsy move. Typically, this isn't done when a president loses an election or when... Now, say what you want to say about the 2020 election. Believe what you want to believe, okay? I'm not gonna, you know my thoughts on this. I'm not gonna really beat this dead horse. But going for, I get it. I mean, it's a tough pill to swallow. But going forward, okay. Hey, listen, it is what it is. If it, listen to me. The media partners for the Democrats have done such a good job of vilifying certain words. Like if you question the integrity of the 2020 election, you're immediately labeled a fucking terrorist or an insurrectionist. Okay? When in fact, this is common practice. If you remember back to the 2016 election, when Hillary Clinton lost, she said the fucking election was rigged. And that's when they started with all this Russia bullshit and the Steele dossier and all that other crap. And she stood behind that. And that all turned out to be bullshit. But they don't really, unless you're watching Fox News, you don't really hear about that. It kind of gets swept under the rug. So, if the Democrats say an election is rigged, that's okay. Anyone else says it, problem. Either way, okay? The results are the results. Even if there was overwhelming evidence to prove otherwise, it would have never seen the fucking light of day because rigging an election is a serious fucking thing, and it would spark probably a civil war. And then you really got to question the integrity of everything going forward. So, that said, the results are the results. It is what it is. We have to move on from it, okay? Because you can't fix it. You can't go back. We're not reversing anything. We're stuck with this fucking imbecile in the Oval Office. Whether he got there legitimately or illegitimately doesn't fucking matter at this point. Let's look forward to 2024. The damage is already done. Now, that said, if Trump stays on track, like if you watched his speech the other day, Tuesday night, he gave a very elegant, concise speech. There was no riffing, really. There was no craziness. It was... He did what every other Republican should have done, and probably if they did would have won Senate seats. Okay, he identified the problems and immediately proposed solutions. And he backed it up with saying, hey, I was the only presidential candidate who kept every single one of his promises. I'm the only one who fixed the problem before. I could fix it again, and I intend to. And I'm running this election for you. He even said, I don't have to do this. I have a pretty good life.
I will be the greatest president that God ever created.
And he was. Bar none, hands down, right? So if he would have stayed on track, well, I mean, he did. He stayed on track. And if he keeps that up, that momentum up, yeah, he's going to be a very formidable candidate. He'll be unbeatable. Now, here's what I disagree with. Okay, him going after Ron DeSantis. Now, I will say this, okay? I understand how Donald Trump's brain works. He's a loyalist. He feels that if he does something for somebody, Like, he's loyal to whoever he's friends with. He feels like his friends should be loyal to him, and that doesn't work in politics. These politicians fucking flip-flop left and right. As a matter of fact, all 200 of those people that he got elected, watch. You know, they're not going to come out and support the former president right away with his announcement for candidacy. They're not going to weigh in one way or the other. They're going to bend whichever way the wind blows and whichever direction better suits their political career. They're not loyal. No politician is. That's just the breaks, kid. Now, here's the thing with DeSantis. The MAGA world loves DeSantis, but don't get it twisted. They don't love him more than Trump. Okay? DeSantis won his gubernatorial election by a fucking landslide. Okay? And everybody's saying, the media narrative is, DeSantis helped flip Florida, which is predominantly a blue state. Florida was predominantly a blue state. It's not anymore. I'm going to tell you why. When Ron DeSantis was first elected governor in 2017, okay, he only won by a very narrow margin. It wasn't by a lot. And he wasn't doing very well in the polls until Trump threw his support behind him. And that kind of boosted him over the edge. And Donald Trump knows that. And even DeSantis knows that. Because DeSantis was all up Trump's ass when Trump was president. And after he got elected governor. And everything was great. And now that, they say Donald Trump is basically cancer to you, even the GOP says it. Because, God forbid somebody actually grows a set of balls, this fucking guy falls in line. So he doesn't like to mention Donald Trump. Now, he won by a narrow margin originally. This time around, he won by a fucking landslide. It wasn't that he flipped Florida from blue to red. Florida isn't the same Florida it was 4 fucking years ago. That's just the fucking truth. First of all, it was pretty tight before, because any Cuban that goes to fucking Florida is voting Republican. They're smart people. They understand the difference between socialism and capitalism. They came from fucking Havana. They understand what it's like to be under fucking Castro's rule. They always are going to vote Republican. So there was a pretty decent amount of Republicans in the state of Florida. Understand something, in the last 4 fucking years, every goddamn conservative, and from New York, New Jersey, and God only knows where else, all fucking relocated to Florida. These are all people who vote Republican, okay? So Florida's population increased 400%, and it increased with conservative Republicans. It's not fucking rocket science. So he didn't flip shit. The fact of the matter is, Trump lives in Florida. Florida was a free fucking state. Everybody fucking left New York and went to fucking Florida. Florida is now a red state by default, not because of DeSantis flipped it. Now, when DeSantis got elected governor again, he didn't bother to thank Donald Trump, and Donald Trump took that fucking personally. Because Trump doesn't understand this dynamic of politics where everybody's a scumbag. Okay, that's not a knock, that's a fact. Okay, so, with the GOP, say, DeSantis is our guy, they're kind of trying to move away from Trump. Trump took it fucking personally and went after the guy because he said he was disloyal, sanctimonious. Okay? Now, I don't agree with that. I mean, I understand where Trump's coming from, and personally is not wrong, but I wouldn't have attacked him. As a matter of fact, it's not too late. It's still early. I mean, we got, I'm not going to weigh in on whether or not Donald Trump's going to win this election or not, because we got 2 more fucking years to worry about it, okay? So, and right now they say, well, he's not going to win, but never count Donald Trump out. If there's one thing that he's always proven, he's the comeback kid, okay? Don't count him out, because right when you think he's down and out, he comes out of the corner like a fucking lion. Okay, so I'm not worried about that. Here's what I'm saying. When it comes to DeSantis, what he should do is stop the rhetoric. Hopefully he doesn't go after the guy anymore, and kind of extend an olive branch. Sit down with this guy. Say, look, here's the plan. Okay, because DeSantis is a young guy. He's younger than me. He's 44. Okay, we could start a fucking Republican dynasty for the next 4 terms. And I've said it before on the show. If DeSantis is his fucking running mate, he's pretty much unstoppable. Okay, so I would sit down, iron things out with this guy. Maybe do like a public thing, a public press conference or something. Have him come to a rally or whatever. Trump DeSantis 2024 is a fucking monster. Okay, hear me out. Trump does 2 terms, even if he just wants to do 1 term. Okay, but knowing Donald Trump, he'll do the full 2. Right? Things will be great. He'll fix everything and goes back to the way it was. When his term is up, DeSantis gets the GOP nomination. Okay, he's a little bit more seasoned. He's not old. He's still a young guy. He's going to be pushing 50. Okay? Or actually, he'll be in his 50s. And he'll end up doing 2 terms. And so on and so on and so on. That would be option 1. Okay? Option 2, which would be an even bigger fucking monster, and hear me out, I'm not a fan of Mike Pence. Okay? You know why? I've said it before. I'm not going to go into it again. But Pence has been doing this book circuit now. And you could see Pence with... one thing about Mike Pence, I mean, he's a religious nutbag. But he's not a bullshitter. If he is, he's a really good one. Because when they asked him about January 6th and, Trump said that he didn't have the courage to make the right decision, you could see that Pence is still fucking upset about that. Butthurt. He even said, he goes, Donald Trump and I had a great working relationship. I considered him a friend. So he feels a little fucking butthurt. Again, Trump's that loyalist. He felt Mike Pence stabbed him in the back too. So, you want to see a media frenzy? If he could iron this out with Mike Pence and put Pence back on the fucking ticket, another Trump Pence ticket would be fucking huge, because it gives this thing a lot of credence, because the Trump-Pence administration, and even Pence says it, was unstoppable. Now, either one would create a Republican dynasty. And the only way you're going to achieve this is if you have the best spin doctor in fucking Washington working on this. Donald, give me a call. I can fucking hook this all up for you. You work with me, my friend. I promise you, you're going to be in. Now, that said, there's a couple of names being thrown around in the GOP ring, aside from Donald Trump. DeSantis is a favorite. Even Mike Pence is being talked about. I don't give a shit if it's Trump, DeSantis, or Pence. If these election rules do not get fixed, I don't give a fuck who the Republican candidate is. They're going to lose. You heard it. Okay? Now that the Republicans have control of the House, and I'm not even sure if they have the power to do this, but they can at least initiate it or do something. They got to change the way these votes are counted and handled. We have to stop this early voting bullshit. We have to stop this fucking mail-in voting crap. Okay? Election day is election day. You make it a fucking federal holiday. Everybody's off from work. They have polling booths in all the fucking, government buildings. Okay? And everybody votes. One day. Votes are tallied. One day. You know who the fucking president is, who the senator is, the governor, the congressman, the mayor, everybody. You know in one fucking day. Just like it used to be. None of this 6 fucking day counting votes, mail-in votes, early votes, this was lost, this. Get the fuck out of here. And voter identification at the polls like it used to be. They have to fix that. Otherwise, it doesn't matter who the fuck runs. There's no integrity on these elections. It's never a Republican will never fucking win the White House ever again as long as the fucking election rules stay the way they are. These were only supposed to be temporary, they said, because of COVID. I mean, listen, if you can't see the long game on this, you need to get your fucking eyes checked, my friends. Okay?
I will be the greatest president that God ever created. Look, I'm really rich. I will build a great wall.
And he did.
On our southern border, and I will have Mexico pay for that wall.
And he did. Kept every promise.
Don't wear it to pay.
Doesn't.
It's my hair. I swear.
I love this pen.
I love China. I just sold an apartment for $15 million to somebody from China.
Come on, don't you want him back in the White House?
Our leaders are stupid. Our politicians are stupid. We will have so much winning if I get elected that you may get bored with winning.
See, that's my way in on Trump. It's too soon to tell what's going to happen. We got a long way to go. I mean, all of this negative bullshit will get swept under the rug eventually, because you know how the fucking world is. We forget. Something else will happen. Okay, it's good that I understand him announcing the candidacy early. Because it could do one of two things. It could force these Republicans to in the House to start really re-examining the election rules. Although this should be like top of their fucking list. I myself, if I were Donald Trump, would have probably waited a little bit just to see if they are going to start doing something with these election rules. Because again, doesn't matter who fucking runs, DeSantis, Pence, Trump, doesn't matter. It'll be fucking close. It'll be tight. It'll look like they're going to win until they don't. But I really think if I was running the Trump campaign, I want somebody on that ticket that's either DeSantis or Pence. Because the problem with these fucking Republican Democrat elections is the independents and the moderates. They're fucking wishy-washy. Okay? Yeah, every Republican's going to vote for Trump. Unless they're a moderate. And they're like, I don't know. I'd love a mean tweet and $1.99 gas. That's just me. Okay? But, some of these people are fucking dumb. There's a lot of stupid people out there. Unfortunately, they have voting cards. Okay, so unless we fix the voter integrity laws, I don't know. Doesn't matter who fucking runs. But if I were Trump, I would try to make amends with either DeSantis or Pence. Get him on the ticket. I think it'd be easier to do DeSantis. And right now DeSantis is popular, or is perceived to be popular, so that may not be the worst way to go. Okay? So hopefully he stays on track. And Jesus Christ, hopefully he fucking comes back. I don't know if we can handle all of this bullshit anymore. Okay, on another Biden blunder. We're on the brink of World War III. Isn't that nice? I fucking said this was going to happen. Okay? So the other day, while he's in fucking Indonesia napping before dinner, the Russians allegedly fired a missile into Poland. I don't know if it was by accident. I don't know if it's on purpose. They're saying it could be Ukrainian. Nobody seems to really know, but they seem to think it was a Russian missile and it killed 2 civilians. Problem with this is Poland is a NATO country. So any attack on a NATO country automatically will be considered an act of war. And under Article 5, we could be in World War III. Now, from what I heard, because they're still investigating this, they're going to start with Article 4, which is basically a threat to stand down, which Russia is probably not going to do. And then we have to decide whether or not we're going to fucking war or not. Yeah, this is a real fucking thing. Okay? Seriously. So, if only Trump remained president, all of this shit would not be happening, and the world, especially the Americans, would be in good shape. That's all I'm going to say on that for now. Let's just hope we make it to 2024 in one fucking piece now. Okay, kids, get your tickets out. We're about to hop onto that maniacal, magical express of the mayhem and fuckery, and the crazy train's about to leave the station. All aboard! Woo-hoo! First stop, the Bronx. Okay, so I love this fucking story when I read it. A principal in the Bronx named Emmanuel Polanco was accused of shaking down ESL teachers that they brought in from the Dominican Republic. So here's this fucking racket, right? So they bring these teachers in from DR to teach the kids, that only speak Spanish, how to speak English. Okay, that's what ESL means for those of you that are uneducated. So this fucking guy starts shaking them down He forces them to rent rooms from him for $1,800 a month, and he says if they don't, he's going to revoke their fucking visas and send them back to the DR. I guarantee you this cocksucker's a registered Democrat. All right, next stop, New York City. So, The Lion King, the Broadway show, The Lion King, fired their sign language interpreter for being white. It's fucking true. I swear to God, this is on the nose. You can't make this shit up. So I didn't even realize this. But I guess Broadway show, I never looked. I don't go to too many Broadway shows. But they have like the person in the corner that's signing, you know, and doing all that shit. So if you're deaf, you can understand what's happening. I mean, if you're deaf, what the fuck are you doing at a musical anyway? That's beside the point. So they fired the, you know, we all want to be inclusive, yet watch this shit. So they fired the guy for being white. The guy sitting in the fucking corner playing with his fingers, right? Not even in the show. They fired him for being white because they said it was inappropriate for a white actor to portray a black character. Apparently, the characters are all assumed to be black because this takes place in Africa. Like, there's no white people in Africa. Fucking nobody's ever been to South Africa. And here's the fucking here's the fucking kicker of all this. They're all fucking animals. They're playing animals. Lions and fucking warthogs and whatever the fuck. So they're not black, they're not white, they're fucking lions. So they flat out told this guy it's inappropriate for him to work there because he's white. Could you fucking imagine if the shoe was on the other foot? Could you imagine if they fired fucking whatever black character or Hispanic characters playing Alexander Hamilton because they said, well, you know, Hamilton was fucking white, you're a little dark, get the fuck out of here. Are you fucking kidding me? Holy shit. So it's okay to fire somebody for being white. It's okay to blackwash white characters, okay? Okay, but not the other way around. Like these fucking Christmas commercials. Now, every goddamn Christmas commercial has a black Santa Claus. Did you fucking notice that? All of a sudden, Santa Claus turned black over fucking night. Everyone knows that Santa Claus is not black. Okay, I'm not trying to be racist here. It's a fucking fact. Okay, we all grew up knowing Santa Claus was white. You are terrifying black children with this shit. Okay? Because they know better than anybody that Santa Claus has to be white. Because if Santa Claus was fucking black, you could see he's looking, that black Santa ain't gonna bring us no presents. That motherfucker smell like weed. He ate all our food and took a shit and the toilet didn't flush and stole our TV and got mama pregnant. That's what they're worried about now, these poor little children. Jesus Christ. If we took a black character and made them fucking white, holy shit, it would be fucking bedlam. So yeah, so they fired this guy. I mean, they tried to apologize and they tried to hire him back. He sued the fuck out of him. Good for him. Ridiculous. All right, while we're in New York City, let's talk about Dave Chappelle's controversial Saturday Night Live monologue, which I watched. And for the first time, and I can't tell you how long, I'm going to tell you straight out, that fucking Saturday Night Live was funny. It hasn't been funny in like fucking decades. Chappelle comes on, the show automatically becomes funny. Now, apparently he horrified people. And the fucking funny thing is, during the rehearsal, he used a different monologue. He knew what he was gonna. He knew what he was doing. He knew what he was gonna say. He knew exactly what direction he was gonna go in. For the rehearsal, he used the generic monologue, which nobody would have a problem with, and then he fucking switched it up and horrified them. And it wasn't bad. Okay, it was fucking funny because you know Chappelle just points out obvious shit and how stupid it is, and it's fucking funny. It's why he's one of my favorite comedians. So, he pissed off everybody, including the Anti-Defamation League. They said he was being anti-Semitic because he mentioned how Kanye West's comments about Jews controlling the entertainment world wasn't necessarily wrong. You just don't say it. As a matter of fact, he said everyone in Hollywood knows that you don't start a sentence with the and Jews. Come on, it's fucking funny. That's not bad. It's not derogatory. It's not anti-Semitic. It's fucking true. All right? And then he went on to say that clearly Kanye West is mentally irregular because, again, everyone knows you don't do that. Might be true, but you don't fucking say it. Okay? Because they get all bent out of shape. And listen, I'm not saying anything derogatory. I mean, I tell you, and I always say, listen, when I need an accountant, when I need an attorney, if I need an agent, I'm going with a Jew. Okay? Because they're the best at it. Hey, listen, when you want someone's legs broken, who do you go to? One of us, right? We all have our fucking talents in life. All right? So, it's not stereotyping, it's just fucking fact. Then he went on to say that, that because of all this anti-Semitic backlash, okay, that he went and got Kyrie Irving in trouble just for tweeting about a documentary. Because Kyrie would have been fine. Otherwise. Go, it's on YouTube. Go fucking watch it. It's classic Dave Chappelle. It's fucking hilarious. All right, next stop, Arizona. So 2 teachers that were married to each other, Samantha and Dylan Peer, were fired from their jobs because they recorded sex scenes in classrooms for her OnlyFans page. Those of you that don't know what OnlyFans is, it's like it's a website that, you know, you can basically go on. You can do like amateur porn shit. Like they'll pay you for like videos and photos and, you know, touching your fucking, you know, and rubbing your tits and all that other bullshit. Okay, I don't know exactly how it works, but I know people get paid a shit ton of money for going on this and just being fucking, you know, raunchy. Not that I got anything wrong with that, okay? If my wife told me she was going to start an OnlyFans page, I would ask her how much money she thinks she would make with a fraction head. You know, but that's just me. Not that I'm promoting violence towards women. I'm not. But, you know, any guy that lets their wife do that shit is a fucking slob. Okay? Who wants people... You don't want anyone looking at your wife's tits. Okay? That's just common sense. But anyway, these 2 fucking assholes, this is the world we live in. They had an OnlyFans page, and they're teachers, and they're recording the fucking sex scenes in classrooms. And they're wondering why they got fired. Wait, gets better. So this imbecile doesn't seem to understand this, okay? She claims that they filmed the scenes, like she got fired. Well, we filmed the scenes on the weekends when no one was there. Like that makes it fucking better? You're using a public school classroom to record yourself fucking and then putting it on the internet. Let's forget the fact that that's just insane. You're using a taxpayer-funded facility for this type of shit. You're also fucking trespassing. You're using... They went on the weekends, after hours, when no one was there. That's fucking trespassing. Where are the criminal charges on this one? Okay? Hello? Okay? So... She said I used an alias name of Chloe Carter on my OnlyFans page, and I blocked anybody in like the state of Arizona from searching me. Yeah, but this clueless fucking cunt went and put links to her OnlyFans page on her social media, which her students follow her on, so it wasn't too complicated. Imagine this shit, you're an 8th grade kid, and you click on the fucking your teacher's OnlyFans page, and you see her blowing somebody and taking one up the ass? Holy shit, how do you think you're keeping your fucking job? First of all, every kid in the school, you have their undivided attention now, okay? But that's one thing, maybe their SAT scores might go up. But... this fucking retard is confused as to how she lost her job still. Okay? I don't understand. How are people this fucking dumb teaching children? How do they get jobs as fucking teachers? And she said, and this entitled little cunt's fucking reasoning for this is that they don't make enough money as teachers, so they had to supplement their income. I got an idea. How about you get a second fucking job like a regular person? Go drive a fucking Uber, okay? DoorDash. Get a job somewhere else at night or whatever the fuck. Or Just don't be a fucking teacher, because clearly you're not smart enough for it. And if the pay isn't enough for you, go do something else. Okay, you want to blow people on fucking camera? Go ahead. Go be a fucking professional fucking oa. Make a shit ton of money. Have a nice fucking life. Do our kids need this shit, though? This is what I mean. Probably also fucking Democrats. All right, kids, your sports update. NFL. Giants play Detroit Sunday at 1. Jets and Pats Sunday at 1. Bills play the Browns Sunday at 1. If they're not buried in snow, I guess they're going to probably be in Cleveland. And Saints play the Rams Sunday at 1. So once again, all fucking New York teams are playing football on Sunday at the same time. I don't know who comes up with these schedules. NHL, Rangers and Sharks tonight. Rangers and Sharks Saturday at 10:30 because they're in San Jose. Islanders play the Stars Saturday at 8. NBA, Nets and Grizzlies Sunday at 7 o'clock. Knicks play the Golden State Warriors tonight at 10 o'clock, again, California. And the Bulls play the Magic tonight at 8 o'clock. So I guess I'll be watching the fucking Bulls game. All right, kids, on Tommy's Pub and Grub Review, let's talk about the Montauk Brewing Company, shall we? Now, I've been a fan of this brewing company since they started, and it wasn't all that long ago. I want to say it was maybe 2012 they got their start. They're obviously located in Montauk. They have a small little brewery, and they started off just local. And they had like 1 or 2 beers, and they started to get into different bars and different places, and now it's a pretty popular brand. So much so that one of the larger cannabis companies called Tilray Brands bought them recently. Well, there you go, beer and weed under one roof. How the fuck is this even legal? And you know, I like the story of this brewing company. It was a couple of guys that grew up together from Montauk. They playing around with craft beer. They decided to start their own company, okay, and brew their own beer. And, they built a brand. And now here comes this company throwing enough fucking money at them, and they took it. I'm all for making money. But, I think to myself, if Yuengling did that, they wouldn't be a family-owned company. They wouldn't be the oldest brewer in the United States. If Anheuser-Busch did that, now Busch sold out, yeah, but, you don't have any more of these mom-and-pop companies that make it to the stratosphere, because they get to a point, and then somebody comes along and offers them a shit ton of money, and they cash out. They sell out. And then the product is never the same, because it's not the same when somebody else is making your product. That's all I'm saying. Okay? So I was a little disappointed to hear that. So, Montauk Brewing Company, fuck you. All right, kids, on What the Fuck Is That? Whew. We're this is gonna be something fantastic. We're gonna talk about Jizz jewelry. So, holidays are coming, and you probably don't know what to get that broad you just started banging. Maybe you're just looking for that unique holiday gift for your significant other. The kind that says, I love you, but I want to do filthy fucking things to you. Okay? Well, look no further, because Jizz Jewelry is here. Okay? So what is Jizz Jewelry? It's self-explanatory. This is a big thing on TikTok right now. I don't know who fucking thinks of this shit, quite honestly. So basically, it's jewelry made out of hardened jizz. So somebody fucking jerks off into a cup, they let it solidify, okay, and then it gets hard, and then they turn it into jewelry. They make things like bracelets and necklaces. But who the fuck is thinking it is? Like, as you're fucking rubbing one out, you go, I should just make some jewelry out of this. Holy shit, it gives a whole new meaning to the word pearl necklace. Okay? This is what the world is coming to. Okay? I mean, look, maybe I'm just too old-fashioned, but most of the girls that I know, when you say jewelry, they're thinking gold, silver, something like that, Tiffany's, Cartier, Rolex, a watch. They're thinking something like that, diamonds. You give a broad a fucking necklace made out of hardened banana juice, I don't see them getting too fucking excited over this shit. Okay? It just, I mean, what the fuck is everybody thinking these days? Like, I just don't fucking get it. I don't get it. All right. On Right or Racist. As of 2012, 43% of the gambling revenue stems from Native American gaming and casinos. Well, that's right. You see? I don't know what the fuck these people are all complaining about. You really think they give a shit if you name a sports team the Redskins or the Indians? They're making fucking money hand over fist fleecing the white man in these goddamn casinos. See, it all works out in the end. They give up a little land. They have a nice income stream. Everybody's happy. All right, kids, your PSA. You know, holidays are coming. Okay, they're almost fucking here. And next week is Thanksgiving. And, you know, I say this all the time, and it drives me crazy, because Thanksgiving used to be one of my favorite holidays. It's non-secular. There's not a lot of bullshit. You sit down, you gather with friends, family, whatever, you eat, talk, bullshit, gamble, watch some football. It's a great holiday. Every holiday should be like that, as a matter of fact. And it always gets overshadowed by Christmas, and everybody's such in a hurry to get their fucking Christmas decorations up. You can't wait one fucking day. You can't wait one day to Black Friday to put your decorations up. It's not like you got to go shopping on Black Friday anymore, because they don't want you in the fucking stores. They've been running Black Friday deals for the last month. Okay? So if you want, and I know so many people that do, like they go, oh, the Christmas tree has to be up for Thanksgiving. It's Thanksgiving. Your decorations are brown and yellow and turkeys. Okay, like little pilgrims and turkeys. That's what we used to have when we were kids. They had like the fucking turkeys in the window and shit like that. You made turkeys out of your hand in school. Now it's like Thanksgiving don't even exist anymore. It gets overshadowed by Christmas more and more and more every fucking year. Now they've had Christmas movies on since Halloween. They had Christmas Story on like 11 times this week. You're not supposed to see that shit till Christmas Eve. It's fucking disturbing. So if you're one of these people that puts their Christmas tree up for Thanksgiving, please stop it, okay? Don't be a fucking Momo. Stay COVIDless, kids. No mask, don't ask, haters can kiss my ass. And remember, who loves you, babe? It's been your Friday wrap-up, and I'll see you when I see you.